Two college radio DJs during the 90s, hosts Keith and Steve, helped expose bands like Nirvana, Pavement, and PJ Harvey. They went to shows, interviewed musicians, and reviewed albums for various designs and papers. They worked security at concerts and once even did load-in for Fish. Now, they're dads. Whether you want to explore lesser-known music or take a trip down memory lane, tune into the new Dad Rock. Join hosts Keith and Steve as they navigate the ages together, sharing their love of music across various eras and genres. Always well-intentioned, often well-informed, seldom boring, the new Dad Rock will expand your mind.
Oh my God, welcome back. It's been like a year, 6 months at least. A long time.
Yeah, it looks like it's been 5 months, but yeah. Oh, wait, no, those are our cheetah episodes. Ooh. Oh.
Well, yeah, we just dropped some King Gizzard bootlegs on for like 4 or 5, 6 episodes in a row.
6 episodes. That's what it was. Yep.
Yes, because it was each set. They toured Red Rocks in Colorado last year. They did 3 nights. And we did 2 sets each night, and we did each set for an episode. That's what it was.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's the newest stuff we've had for going on 9 months.
Yes, because December 13th, we released episode 69, Nice Memories of 2022. Are your memories of 2022 still nice?
I can't remember.
I really can't either. I mean, 2023 is 3/4 in the bag.
I know. I think it's a good thing we're getting this thing started up again so we can talk about a few things and have a best of or nice memories of 2023 episode.
Yeah. You know what's happened since our last episode? For the first time ever, the 3 top songs on the Billboard 100 were country songs.
Wow. That's a sign that the new Dad Rock is failing.
No, I was about to say on my title in July 2023, so just last month, the top 3 played songs on my title were country songs. 2 of which were the top 2 songs, which was Fast Car by Luke Combs and Last Night by Morgan Wallen.
Well, does Fast Car count? That's Tracy Chapman.
It is, like, and I loved her song too. I loved her song, and he did a good job with it. But yeah, amazing.
Well, as you know, I hope you're not a first-time listener, but if you are, my name is Steve, and I tend to skew more on the rock side of the new Dad Rock, whereas Keith, my esteemed colleague, who's not being barked at by several dogs, he is more on the
new side,
the new side of the new Dad Rock. We're both dads, and maybe that's why we never hit the big time and got all those millions from Spotify, is because we've never really had a mission statement or a clear definition necessarily of what we've been doing.
I think we needed 101 episodes, and we're pretty close with episode 70 coming at you live, 2023, hopefully.
This is not live at all.
So last time we spoke, I think we only had like 100 countries that we were listened to in. Do you know what the number is up to now?
No, I think we were at like 170, and now we're at like 172.
No, we were at 100. There's only like 180 countries in the world. The changes.
And what are we up to?
107.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we're almost past the FM dial.
Dude, I mean, we got Vietnam listen to us recently, Macau, Laos. I forget who the other ones were. Yeah, thank you, Vietnam, Laos, and Macau. So, Steve, what do you want to do with the rest of our 30 episodes of the new Dad Rock?
You know, I have to admit, I haven't listened to a ton of podcasts. With the new Dad Rock, there's no time, and keeping our finger on the pulse of what is latest in the new Dad Rock scene takes a lot of time. But I have been, I have on the hiatus that we've just encountered, listened to a couple podcasts. And one of the things I notice is at the beginning, there's kind of like they tell you what you're going to talk about and what kind of set the tone and set the stage of why you're going to listen to and what you're going to listen to. I don't know that we do that. Do we do that?
I don't know what the last 5 minutes were.
Right. So maybe what we do is we, figure out what we're talking about and maybe set a tone. It seems a lot of times that maybe that intro is recorded after the show is in the bag. And there are a number of times I've editing these shows and I've wanted to go back and say, oh, this is what we meant here, blah, blah, or
I would just take too long. Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that what AI is for? I see there's a $10 plugin we can buy per month on Buzzsprout that will AI our stuff, but it doesn't seem like it does that much. It does recording. It'd be cool if it actually just did our episodes for us. Hi, this is Steve. And I'm Keith. And we're the New Dad Rock. I mean, I guess we could get the AI to do that.
We could probably, when we put our
we
notes
could probably do that
together,
now live, yeah.
When we put our notes together on a show, I could probably pick out 60 keywords, dump that in.
Wait, so you think we should compete? The New Dad Rock should compete against like an AI version of us? That'd be amazing. I think we could do that
like
live.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when they meet each other at the Circle K.
It's probably just like that. Oh my God. I haven't logged into my little AI account in a long time. There it is. Okay. Just talk for a minute while I write an episode of a podcast called The New Dad Rock. All right. Let's see. Oh, so this episode's about rediscovering musical roots. Your hosts, Jake and Emily. It really is. All right. Oh, they have a guest on named Mike. This is amazing.
A guest. We had guests. We've. How do you feel like we've done with the guests?
I think the guests have been fine. I'll tell you this about the guests, and I hope they're not listening. They haven't brought the views I was counting on. I mean, there's no statistical increase, and in fact, I would actually say they're statistically lower than the other episodes.
I think maybe we're just not maybe we're not interviewing well-known enough people. Like when I listen to, you could probably guess this, but I listen to a skiing podcast, and the guy interviews a lot of general managers and CEOs or marketing heads of ski resorts. I listen to the ones predominantly in New England because that's where I ski.
Makes sense.
And I don't know their names, but anybody who is a fan of that mountain that they're covering that week would tune in for the show. It would be a draw for that. Yep. So we need the draw from our guests. That's what we need. Need them to work a little bit harder.
We really do.
Yeah. I'll tell you, speaking of that, one of the things I did this summer is I saw Yacht Rock again.
Did you see that with our guest, Ella?
She was at the show.
That's awesome. Where was it?
It was at Pier 17 in New York. It's that really cool outdoor venue. It's like 2 stories up, right on the river. The back of the stage is open, and what there's not usually a backdrop there, but you look through the back of the stage, and it's the Brooklyn Bridge. So
that's awesome.
It's a pretty fantastic place to see a show. It was, a warm summer night, and it was fine.
So you're saying we should feature locations every episode? And then everyone who's a fan of that location should listen to our episode.
I didn't say that at all, but that's that's a thing. We should really try to come up with themes so that every episode you know what you're going to get into. Not only will we tell you what we're going to talk about at the beginning, then we'll have hey, what cool thing did we see in the news today? And, the news being whatever popped up on Reddit, or I'm still calling it Twitter, Instagram, all that other stuff.
Wait, so you're saying that we have to record... we gotta record episodes more frequently than every 9 months.
Well, I mean, we could have a really big news segment if we wanted tonight. If this was back to like the bi-weekly show that it was, or even back to the weekly format when we first kicked off at the height of COVID, when there was nothing to do but make a podcast.
Dude, I like your idea of an all-nighter with every piece of news since December 13th. I think that would be magnificent. I'm not prepared tonight, but we should go for it.
Yeah, maybe we'll record that segment separately and edit it in.
So my AI friend, let me just read 2 or 3 of the lines. Hey, Jake, it's going great. Today's episode is going... Today's episode...
Can you make it so it at least has our correct names as the hosts?
Fine. All right. 2, 1. Hey, Steve, it's going to be great. Today's episode is going to be a special one. We're diving into the heartwarming stories of how new dads are rediscovering their musical roots and sharing their passion with their kids. That's right, Keith. Being a dad doesn't mean giving up on your music dreams. In fact, for many, it's a chance to introduce their kids to the music that shaped their own lives.
Wow, this is pretty good. My kids want nothing to do with the music I listen to. Nothing at all.
These aren't really heartwarming stories, but I'm not surprised because it's AI. In fact, there's no mention of any specific musical band or style, really.
That's something. So put in like, okay, so do you have a list of bands that you've been listening to all summer? Like, you obviously listen to like top 5 country music. Yeah. Like a wanka. Well, there's a reason I say that. Because one of the albums I listened to a ton, like back in the spring, I guess, like more, I think when it came out, is Sleaford Mods. Do you know them?
No, not at all. Sleeper Mods?
So, Sleaford Mods, they're like from London. No, they're not from London. They're British. And it's 2 guys, and it's this angry guy who licks a little bit like, what was the guy that did the news on Saturday Night Live and was on Remote Control? Colin Quinn. Looks a little bit like him, and if Henry Rollins and him had a baby. So he's like 52 years old. And then the other guy just plays the computer, and he does the beat.
Yep.
So he basically presses buttons on a computer, but he looks like... Did you ever see Ted Lasso?
Of course. Who hasn't?
Okay, Coach Beard.
Yep.
The other guy in the band looks exactly like Coach Beard. And honestly, I think the 2 of them might be the same person. Like, I know they're not the same person, but I mean the character. Like, the guy's freaky. He does amazing dancing the whole time, while the other one's just like a Spitfire, Colin Quinn, Henry Rollins bastard baby. And they've been around for like 15 years, and they have like 7, 8 albums. So we're late to the game there, but this is what the new dad rock is trying to do, trying to keep you cool, man.
That's
You're 50 years old. You want to still be with the kids, but these guys are old. They're like 45, 50 years old. Sleaford Mods.
Yep, I found it. Thanks. That's actually the first new band we've told anyone about in 2023. This is UK Grim. I'm actually disturbed because I wrote another episode while you were talking for 2 minutes. And the second host's name is Steve, so I feel that it's very freaky. But so this one's called "When the Kids Won't Listen to the Maiden." All right. Hey there, rockin' dads and everyone else tuned in. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the New Dad Rock. I'm Keith, and joining me is my co-host Steve. How's it going, Steve? That's right, Steve. No, I'll just skip over your parts. That's right, Steve. Iron Maiden has been a defining force in rock music, and it's only natural for us dads to want to share that legacy with our children. But what happens when they just won't listen?
Wow, that sounds...
Oh, and then they get guests talking about it. Oh, the struggle is so real.
Like, our episodes are not that compelling. We just come out and we make, like, stupid jokes to each other, and, like, some people find that amusing. Like, roughly... 150, 200 people a week find that amusing, but the masses don't, which is unfortunate. They're a loss.
I was about to say, we're all 150 views.
Right.
All right.
Right. So Sleaford Mods I've listened to, and another one somewhat in that vein, somewhat adjacent, is Viagra Boys. Do you know them at all?
I do, because my sister listens to them, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
She's a younger kid than us, so maybe that's what the, slightly younger than us people listen to. But they've been around a decade or maybe not maybe a decade. They're from Sweden. And their singer Sebastian actually is Swedish, but he grew up in San Francisco until he was maybe 14, and then he moved back to Sweden. And they're from Stockholm art scene. They're very arty punk, a little bit like Idols. I think you know the Idols. I think some of our listeners know. I think we've mentioned the Idols. That sort of punk rock, but these guys are a little more playful and a little more ridiculous.
Yeah, but let's face it, Viagra Boys isn't exactly family friendly in terms of lyrics. How do you navigate that, Steve?
Dude, I know that was AI. You are writing a show on the fly. That's crazy. We are so obsolete. What are we going to do? How will the new Dad Rock compete with this? All right, so that's two bands. And of course, the third band I listen to, everybody knows this, is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Going back to the last few episodes, we played 9 hours of King Gizzard for you to enjoy. It's, they have 24 albums. It's a huge part of their output, but they still have a lot more songs.
This episode's called Exploring the Mystical Realm of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Hey there, rockin' dads and all you music enthusiasts out there.
Why does that have to come out? Rockin' dads. Hey, rockin' dads. This is the Dad Rock.
Wait till the end of the episode when I show you all three endings.
All right. Anyway, King Gizzard put out... They always drop bootlegs multiple times a year, and their concerts that they've had. So just today, the day that we're recording this, August 31st, they dropped 3 nights run in Chicago from the summer, from July.
Yeah, man.
And 40 songs, 4 hours 20 minutes of music.
I'm going to next time they do a residency like that, I'm going to one of these places. This year I couldn't because I just moved and had other plans, but I'm getting ahead of the curve. I'm going next time. It must be so amazing.
It seems like a whole culture. And speaking of this, so there's been a debate with my friend Kevin, who I ski with. I don't think you've ever met him, which now that you're on the East Coast, we need to rectify that. So Kevin, who would not be a guest on our show because he's not allowed.
Legally? Morally?
No, I don't think... morally, I don't think Kevin listens to our show for one, so that's a ding on him. And if he does... well, Kevin, this is what's up.
I like how we've started attacking our fan base. Our core fan base.
But I don't think he listens.
Yeah, well, you'll find out.
Some of our mutual friends, some of my mutual friends that are friends with Kevin, listen. So they're probably cracking up right now.
Well, I mean, they're intrigued that we've come out of hibernation after the summer.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so he and we saw Fish together. He bought they have a 7-show run in New York, and he buys 2 nights. So he brings me one night. Our friend Brian, who was on the Van Halen episode, speaking of guests, he brought his kids different nights. Anyway, so we go to a show, and it was awesome. The whole first set was 1996 and earlier, and it was tight and awesome. But I keep saying, I'm King Gizzard is the new Fish. And what I mean by that is they jam out their songs. They play 10-plus minute versions of 4-minute songs. So... are they a jam band? Well, they jam and they're a band, so you do the math. They also have a metal section of every show. They play 15 to 25 minutes of full-on hard metal, which their most recent album that came out in May of 2023, Petrodragonic Apocalypse, 7 songs of Tool-infused thrashish metal, doomy too. Anyway, I just went off on a deep tangent. So... New Dad Rock is telling you about 3 bands. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Again. Sleaford.
Now
Sleaford Mods.
Yeah.
And Viagra Boys.
Viagra Boys. Now let's talk about sharing King Gizzard with the kids. Their music can be quite intense and experimental. Have you tried introducing King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard to your kids?
Well, Keith Bott. I have, and they do like some songs. And back to my friend Kevin, his kids I know like them as well. I know the high school art teacher at my high school likes them, so shout out to Mr. Hammer. And and the chorus teacher from the middle school, Mr. Diekman, who has the soul band. He knows of the Giz. But the kids these days, my kids know some of the songs. They're anti anything I like. They're like Taylor Swift, SZA, I don't know, Lizzo, Bruno Mars, that kind of stuff.
I can relate. I've tried playing the river for my kids, and while my eldest is bobbing his head along, my youngest gave me a puzzled look like, "Dad, what's going on?"
That's really funny because the River is probably my favorite song by them, and their bootleg of Chicago that just came out has a 24-minute version of that song on it.
That's going to be awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm actually... Wait, how do I listen to it? How do I listen to these? Because they're not on our podcast.
Just go to Bandcamp. It's like...
Oh, okay.
I think it's 20 Australian dollars, which is like $13. So...
Cool. I love the Australian dollar. Oh, and that's a wrap for this special episode of The New Dad Rock. Thanks for joining us on this musical adventure. To all the rockin' dads and listeners out there, remember, introducing someone to a new band is like sharing a piece of your soul with them.
Wow, that's good. We should have been using this for months. We could have had so many episodes. So I guess, are we coming back, and what are we doing?
That's right, Steve. Keep sharing the music you love with your kids.
Turn this AI shit off, for real.
Well,
I think we should start doing some categories, and maybe the listeners can chime in, hit up our X account,
our Instagram account,
our Instagram. I don't know how to use Instagram. I am too old. It's official. That's how you know you're old. I can't do it.
Just for the record, we're 6 months apart. I'm younger, and I can use it, so the generation gap is right there. Oh, wait, years. What if 72. We did it by years? You're born 72, I'm born 73. We're on episode 70. We can use 71 to kick off our special new season, and then we can just keep the theme related to the episode year. 1972, 1973. We don't have to only talk about that, but we'll talk about something that happened that year.
That's excellent. So we come in, we have a little intro, we talk about what we're going to do. Maybe we hit up a news story or two, or a new album or band that we've heard of, and then we get into a discussion about a serious topic, like we're professors.
That's not bad. I actually kind of like some of our better episodes. Like, what year would the Blind Melon episode be? 93, 94? No, it was the app. Yeah, right?
I think it was, 94.
Man, what great musical years. Even though it's kind of ironic, that's the exact definition of dad rock, is like the music you listened to when you were 18 to 25 or something, and you listened to it.
I saw a crazy stat that it was like the Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, Metallica Black Album, Pearl Jam
Nirvana
10,
Nevermind. Yep.
Soundgarden Super Unknown, all came out with within 6 weeks of each other. And the only other thing I can think of is, I think in 1980, in the month of April, it was April or March, within I think it was 2 weeks, came out Iron Maiden's debut album, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, British Steel, and the album Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath, with Ronnie James Dio as a singer. All three metal classics. So...
It's amazing.
Grouping. What year did I just say that was? All right. So maybe we can get into that in episode 80.
That sounds good. And that's a wrap for this episode of The New Dad Rock. Remember, fellow rockin' dads, introducing your kids to music you can love can be an adventure. Just like exploring the diverse sounds of Viagra Boys.
Oh, man. I love the rockin' dads. The rockin' dads. I love it.
Till next time, keep rocking and rolling, dads.
Hey, rockin' dads. Thanks for listening to the New Dad Rock.
I'm Keith Bott. Have a great day.
All right.
End scene.